Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Women and children are the groups of people that are vulnerable to becoming the victims of violence. Good morning, everyone. My name is Andisa. I'm a law student and a woman. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a significant impact to the entire world, be it on health, social, economic, and even political aspects. Needless to say, COVID-19 has taken at least 1.6 million lives and infected more than 68 million people worldwide. However, there's something wicked concealed behind all of that. Not many of them are there to raise their voices, whether fear due to physical threats, public criticism, and economic inability. Yes, many women and children have become the victims of domestic violence during this pandemic. Domestic violence is taboo and is seen as family disgrace because household life is considered as private matters. Reporting from the National Commission on the Elimination of Violence Against Women, the number of cases of domestic violence has reached 212 cases from March to June only, meaning in 3 months period, the number of domestic violence cases has reached half of the number of domestic violence cases during 2019. That statistic only shows the reported cases of domestic violence. What about the rest? Well, many of these victims are women. Flinders University in Australia looks at women's vulnerability during this pandemic. This study concludes that one of the reasons of this increasing number of domestic violence was the increasing burden on women. Currently, women not only have the duty to take care of the household, but some of them also have to become teachers for their children, because the children are adapting to the online learning system during this pandemic. Well, moreover, working mothers also have to manage their time so that they can remain productive in doing their work at home. Hence, women have to be able to perform these multiple roles, and this can put a heavy burden on them. A study from the National Commission on the Elimination of Violence Against Women found that during the pandemic, women in Indonesia spend more than 3 hours of doing household chores, roughly 4 times more than men. And when women are not able to fulfill their duties properly, they become more vulnerable to becoming the targets of violence. Not to mention the economic problems of the affected families. This pandemic has caused many people to experience salary cuts and layoffs. About 35% of workers in Indonesia got fired during this pandemic. Well, the household income will decrease, and when that happens, the tension in the house will increase. Most of the people who got salary cuts and layoffs experience stress and depression. They usually become more irritable and having a bad temper like the entire day, the entire week, the entire month. As a result, they vent their emotions to their family members, either verbally or physically. When women become more vulnerable due to increasing domestic burdens and economic hardship, government policies to prevent the spread of COVID-19 make it difficult for women to seek help when they experience domestic violence. According to Heal Foundation, victims of domestic violence experience even greater suffering because they are isolated from the various systems that can help them. Currently, when victims of domestic violence want to report, they are required to bring a test result that states they are negative from COVID-19. A process that is quite troublesome and requires costs for the victims. Following this condition, we wonder, how can we help them then? Or perhaps the other way around. How can we ask for help secretly if we become the victims of domestic violence? The Canadian Women's Foundation has released Signal for Help, a signal that victims of violence can secretly send when they need help. For example, when they are having a video call with their friends. Now I will demonstrate how to do this signal for help. First, you need to show the palm of your hands with your thumb tucked. Then, you trap your thumb. Now when you see someone you knew show this signal, you can immediately help them, or you can send help for them by informing the authorities. I knew that this pandemic has brought many difficulties to everyone, but it cannot justify acts of violence against anyone and in any form. Regarding to this issue, I remember Malala said, "I raise up my voice not so that I can shout, but so that those without voice can be heard." Thank you very much. I hope that my speech wasn't just informative, but also bringing the awareness and all the attention this issue needs. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.